A graduate student at Yale University was harassed by police officials, in fact, as many as 4 cops, after a white student saw her sleeping in the common area of a dorm building and thought that this person was some sort of threat and called the cops. Now, the graduate student here is Lolade Siyonbola, and she is an incredibly accomplished woman. Again, she's a graduate student at Yale, where it costs as much as $63,000 a year just to get an education there in its graduate schools. She took a nap in the common area, and then this white student comes in, tells her she's not authorized to be there, calls the cops, and unfortunately, the situation escalates from there. She had to deal with the cops for as long as 15 minutes, and we have a few examples of the video that she posted on social media. So let's take a look at the first one.
I have absolute right to document what's going on. I'm not taking your picture. This is Facebook Live.
Here's what we're gonna do. That's fine.
I need to go back to the 12th floor to finish writing my paper.
What's you got your ID on you?
Yeah, I do.
All right, can we see that?
Why?
Because we got a police call for you.
And we need to make sure that you belong here.
Okay, let me open my apartment for you so that you can see that I belong here. I don't think there's a need for you to be here. I think you probably need to commit her to an institution. That's the only use you have for being here.
Once we verify that you're a resident here, then we'll be on our way.
Okay, great. I need to get back to the 12th floor. I gotta write my paper.
Can we just have your ID, ma'am?
Why?
I just explained to you, we have a police call for you.
You just said that if you prove that I live here,
Correct.
you would leave.
Yep. So
Okay, I
your
just
ID.
opened the door to my apartment.
That's fine. I can see that.
Okay, thank you
Can I
for
have
watching
your
that.
ID?
Why?
So we can verify who you are, and we'll get out of your hair. How's that?
Man, that is frustrating.
Yeah.
So, the right wing says, oh, bootstraps. Okay, she is a graduate student at Yale. So she did everything she could do. She did bootstraps, she did whatever she had to do. She's at Yale. And you know why she was sleeping there? Because she was working all night on the paper she had to write as a graduate student. And it's her dorm.
It's her dorm. This all occurred around 1:30 in the morning. First of all, I don't even understand what goes through the mind of someone, a student who walks into the common area of a dorm and sees someone sleeping in that common area or taking a nap in that common area. Like, why did it cross her mind that this woman posed any type of threat? And so there were other black students at Yale who spoke to the press and said that they also had similar run-ins with this student, which, by the way, you could hear Lolade mention in the video that we just showed you. And so who is Lolade? She holds a bachelor's degree in computer science with a minor in Spanish from the University of Missouri-Columbia, where she was a George Brooks Scholar. She later moved to New York, where she worked in the tech industry. She's now getting a graduate degree at Yale in African American studies. I mean, her resume is super impressive. I'm only giving you a tiny piece of it. So you're right, Cenk. She's done everything right, everything right. She's at Yale, and it doesn't matter. She still gets harassed by a student for simply taking a nap in the common area of this dorm.
Yeah, so this is a new one, sleeping while black. And again, white privilege, what does it mean? It doesn't mean that every white person in the country has a mansion and a yacht. It doesn't mean that. It means that you get to take a nap in your dorm room and people don't call the cops on you. So you never notice it. So you never got the cops called on you. So you don't, that's why you're like, I don't get it, white privilege, I don't have any privilege. What you don't notice is what happens to other people. They do everything right and they get the cops called on them anyway. Look, and this particular student and others probably will disagree with me. I don't think, like, once the cops are called, the cops are, I think, in that situation, in a tough spot. Now, they went on too long. They asked her to open the door. She opened the door. They asked for the ID. I think asking for the ID is okay. And she gets them the ID. There's a slight misspelling in her name and the records. That's when you got to let it go. Okay, like, it's obviously her, and she has a unique name.
No,
the fact that it's slightly misspelled. What do you think? Get this. Someone else broke into the dorm room, somehow got her key and her ID, but maliciously misspelled her name.
No, this is
Come
crazy.
On, guys.
This is crazy. First of all, student IDs have photos on it. So if there was a misspelling in the name, you're right, Cenk, let it go. But it shouldn't even get to that point. They checked her ID up against the university's record. Like, think about the investigative work that went into that. Really, is that really a good use of a police officer's time.
But mainly, I get that in the beginning, the cops are in a little bit of a tough spot because somebody called them and they got to respond, right? But that person who called the cops, and then she has the audacity to say, "Don't you dare take a picture of me. You called the cops on me. I'm a fellow student, and I'm the one who's wrong for videotaping it, and like you're the victim now?"
Yeah, you're in a public place, by the way, so she could have easily taken her picture or put her in the video, but she didn't. I mean, that shows some significant restraint. By the way, we have a second portion of the video that I want to share with you all, so let's take a look at that.
I was sleeping in the common room and she comes in and turns the lights on. And she's like, "Why are you sleeping here? You're not supposed to be sleeping here. I'm gonna call the police on you." But she called the police on my friend about 3 months ago. The university knows that she's unstable and she's still here.
So you've dealt with her before?
Well, this is my first time actually meeting her in person, but I know that she's the one who called the police on my friend.
Would she call the police on your friend?
Because he was in the stairwell and he was black.
What happened last time?
She did the same thing because my friend was in the stairwell and he was black.
That doesn't sound right.
Well, it doesn't sound right that I'm sitting here with you and I should be writing my paper either. So I don't understand why I'm still here.
So her friend did speak to the press, and he said that he had asked that woman for directions somewhere in the university, and that
Because that's what robbers do. They come in and ask for directions. Right.
I can't anymore.
So, look, I'm sure that if you ask that woman if she's racist, she'd be like, no, of course not. I don't actively think that all black people are criminals. I just happen to think that most of the people I run into at Yale who are black are criminals, right? I mean, why else would they be doing a paper at Yale in the middle of the night? Why else would they be asking for directions for how to go to wherever they were gonna go, a dorm, maybe a class at Yale? It never occurred to you that maybe they were asking for directions because they're a student there? And so I think that the person who called the cops is way worse than the cops. And lastly, why don't I ask for her ID? I mean, apparently anybody can call the cops on anybody and then they gotta spend 45 minutes in the middle of the night justifying who they are. How do I know you're a Yale student? Maybe you're the criminal and you're distracting the cops and robbing my place. So I want your ID and I wanna see who you are, okay? And yes, I'll take a picture of you, and yes, I'll take a video of you. I mean, you get to question my identity, but you're the victim. No, hell no, hell no. Everybody earned their way there. Although I don't know about the woman who called the cops. She might be a legacy. You know, those people are actually, they didn't earn it. Their daddy or mommy went to Yale and they got in, okay, and then they question other people who got in. So I don't know, but a huge percentage of the classes at these top schools are legacies. So just keep it real on that.
Yeah, but again, I just wanna really emphasize that it costs as much as $63,000 a year to go to Yale. And to get that kind of treatment is pretty horrendous. And also keep in mind that Yale has decided to support the actions of the cops. They said that the cops went through the proper procedures, so they're defending the cops in this case. But one of the deans did speak out and say that, hey, you know what, we do need to do better in being more inclusive of minorities at this university.
2 easy ways to follow the Young Turks. One is hit the subscribe button down below, then you're a TYT subscriber. And second is ring the bell. And when you do that on YouTube, you're notified of our videos.